What's up guys, JV2017 here, and today I'm continuing my companion guide series in Fallout 4 with Cait, the rough and tough Irish drug addict who can become your follower in the game. So in this video we'll discuss how to get Cait, what her special stats are, how to boost and max out her affinity, as well as the effectiveness of her affinity perk. Now before we begin, let's cover some background info on Cait, just very briefly here. So you'll learn through talking to Cait in the game that she was raised by awful parents, to say the least. They beat and verbally abused her as a child and finally sold her into slavery when she turned 18 years old. Fortunately, Cait developed an ability to pickpocket during her slavery, so that allowed her to steal enough caps from her owners in order to buy her own freedom. After 5 years of that, she chose to do something that I'm not going to spoil in this video. You can just play the game and talk to her to find that out. It's kind of spoilery, so I didn't want to tell you guys here. After she did that, she arrived at the combat zone, which is a location in the game where you're going to find her, and it's a fight club run by a ghoul named Tommy Lonegan. So she's been fighting there for 3 years, and that's where her story begins with the sole survivor. Also, somewhere down the line, she became a chem addict, and that plays a lot into her character. Cait is located at a location, like I said before, called the Combat Zone. And so this location is near downtown Boston area. It's where all of the buildings are crowded together, and you can get to it fairly early in the game. I would be about level 10 before you try to come in here and get her. But the great thing about Cait is that there's no requirement. There's no quest requirement. So once you're out of the vault, you could literally march straight to the combat zone. Again, I wouldn't advise that. I would advise that you're a higher level before you do this, but there's no quest lockout. So you can go and get her as soon as you possibly want to. Once you've made it into the combat zone, you're going to encounter about 10 to 15 raiders, and this isn't too difficult depending on your level. As long as you have a decent amount of damage resistance, you should be able to handle these guys no problem. And so once you've cleared everyone out, you're pretty much prompted to go into the ring, into the octagon almost. It looks like a UFC arena in the post-apocalyptic world, to be honest. Go in there, and then you'll be able to talk to Tommy, and of course Cait is there as well. So there's nothing mysterious about getting Cait. Tommy is pretty much telling her that she needs some time off. She's using too much drugs. She's beaten up. He doesn't have any customers anymore. So he really needs you to take Cait off of his hands. And so that's kind of the general idea. You can refuse to take her, but of course you're watching this companion guide. So you obviously want to say yes when he asks, can you take Cait with you? Just make sure that if you have a companion with you already, like Dogmeat, for example, before you go and get Cait, you have to talk to Cait after this conversation in order to get her to follow you. So you'll have to send your other companion, wherever, sanctuary, wherever it might be, and then tell Cait to follow you, and you have Cait, just like that. Her companion's special stats are 5, 10, 7, 7, 7, 10, and then 7 for a total of 53 points. And so I've mentioned many times before that I don't think these special stats really affect much in the game, and Cait's special stats are on the lower side for your human companions. And so she generally has less points, but they really don't affect too much. You really don't have to worry about them. It's just something interesting to know. Additionally, she has the regular normal 150 carrying weight, so nothing special there. And she also has no immunity, so she's not immune to poison or radiation. You do have to watch out for both of those things with her. However, what she lacks in special stats, she actually makes up for with her ability to pick locks. So she's a special companion. There's only 2 in the game that have this kind of utility to get you into places where you wouldn't be able to get to otherwise, unless you have a certain perk. So Cait can actually pick locks in the game, but the thing is you have to give her bobby pins, and it's not guaranteed. So first off, she needs bobby pins. If she runs out, she'll ask for more. And also, it's not guaranteed that she's going to get you into that master lock or that advanced, that expert. She'll have an easier time to get into those lower tier locks, but the upper tier ones, it's not guaranteed. And so if you're worried about that, you might want to just go ahead and take Locksmith and bring Cait along just because, but she does bring that great utility if your character build does not lend itself into perception, for example, for Locksmith. Moving on, let's talk about companion affinity, which is this game's term for loyalty. So you can perform certain actions throughout the game, and Cait will react to them. So if you decide to go one way on a mission, talk in a certain way to this specific person, certain choices in the game and dialogue will affect how Cait views the player, and in return, you may get some bonuses or you may not. So Once you've reached that max affinity, you'll get her companion perk, which is, we'll talk about that in a little bit. And also you have the option to romance Cait. She does not care if you are a male or a female. She goes both ways. So if that's something you're interested in, you can get the Lover's Embrace bonus by sleeping with her. That gives you a little bit more XP than just normally sleeping with well rested. Or if you have a thing for Irish speaking drug addicts, then I guess that makes sense too. Generally speaking, Cait does have a specific set of predispositions when you're making choices in the game. So, for example, this is her general affinity. Very generally, she likes when the player is selfish or violent. So, morally speaking, you know, she is kind of on the gray line, or maybe even towards more evil than good, I would say. She dislikes it when the player is generous, mean, or peaceful. So it's kind of an interesting mix there. So if you're going to be generous and help people out, she doesn't like that. If you're going to help someone out that needs help, she does definitely like that. She doesn't like it when you're peaceful. She likes it when you're violent. So, you know, if there is an option to be violent in a situation, she's going to like that. If you have an option to kill somebody, you should go ahead and kill them if you want to increase her affinity. Additionally, she has more specific preferences, what we're calling specific affinity towards certain player choices in the game as well. So she likes it when the player gets addicted to chems because she herself is a chem addict. She also likes it when the player uses chems. Obviously, those go hand in hand. And she likes it when you pick locks, pickpocket people and steal from them, or get naked. So she knows how to pick locks. That's obviously a reason why she would like that. Getting naked is something we're going to take advantage of for boosting her affinity. I'll talk about that in a second. Those are her specific likes. She also has specific dislikes. So she doesn't like it when the player donates items, eats corpses, or murders non-hostiles. So she likes it when you're violent towards, violent people, but when you're, killing innocent people, she's not going to like that. So this is interesting. She is very, very a specific case because you're going to do her side quest, which is something you'll get when you have a higher affinity with her, and then she'll switch her preferences for chems. So make sure and make note of that. If you're going to do her side quest, she will not like it when you take chem. She won't like it if you get a chem addiction. Those things will flip-flop once you complete her companion quest, which I'll talk about a little bit later. Be careful of that. So there's two ways you could get to maximum affinity. You could just make sure and follow those specific preferences, or you could just go ahead and boost it up using this method I'm about to show you. So what you want to do is just make sure you have Cait as your companion. It really doesn't matter where you start doing this. You probably just don't want to be in a hostile area. Make sure it's, non-hostile. So what you want to do is remove all of your clothes. Just take all of them off to make sure that your character is naked. And once you've done that, fast travel to a new location. Once you've gotten to that location after your short loading screen, or hopefully it's short, then you'll see in the top left that Cait likes that. So of course we're playing off the fact that she likes it when the player removes clothing. So the action of you traveling to a new location is going to refresh her ability to like that. So that means you can just fast travel between close locations over and over and over, repeat this process, and she'll like it every single time. You can repeat this until she idolizes you, which is the very top amount of affinity for her, and that's how you boost it. That's how you max it out very, very quickly. You can do this within an hour, absolutely, very, very quickly. And honestly, this is way easier than the dog meat method for most of the other companions. You can't do that for Cait because apparently she doesn't like it, or she has no preference. It's not that she dislikes it. She has no preference for you healing dog meat like most of the other morally good companions, I would say. However, she likes it when you get naked, and this seemed even easier than that method, which is very helpful, especially if you want to get her companion perk early in the game. Speaking of which, let's talk about Trigger Rush, which is Cait's companion perk. Again, you have to have maximum affinity in order to obtain it. When you have this perk, it doesn't matter, you don't need Cait with you. Once you've got this, you just need to make sure you're in good standing with her, or else you may lose the perk. But once you get it, action points regenerate faster when below 25% health. So, honest opinion on this perk, I don't like it. I don't like it because it's got that stipulation of needing to be below 25% health. If it was like 50% health, this might be something that's worth your time, but very generally speaking, if you're comparing companion perks, I would say that Trigger Rush is not really on the good side. I'd say it's definitely on the lower side, if not a really bad companion perk, especially when you're comparing. So personally, it doesn't matter to me how much faster the action point regeneration is. Even if it's 200 or 300% faster, it's just not going to be good enough because I never want to be below 25% health. So I understand where they went with, like, you know, she's a drug addict, she gets a trigger rush when she's, you know, or maybe people get trigger rushes in general. That's just her thing, but I just don't think it's going to be that effective in a lot of situations. Maybe more so on higher difficulties, but there are better options. Cait also has a companion side quest, a very specific side quest that actually gives you an achievement or, you know, a trophy, whatever your console platform is. So it's called Benign Intervention, and in order to have her give it to you, you must have high affinity with her. So you can use any one of the methods that I have shared with you guys, either play off of her preferences throughout the game or just boost it up. And once you got it to a certain level, she will talk to you about her addiction. So I'm not going into specifics here, but she needs help with her addiction and she asked a sole survivor. So something to keep in mind with this is what causes her preferences to flip-flop. So if you go ahead with this, if you complete that side quest, Benign Intervention, then she will not like it anymore if you take chem. So if you're running a chem-based character, I know it sounds evil, but you probably don't want to help her out with this quest because that will make her not like you if you keep her with you. And that's just kind of a choice you have to make for yourself. So also something really cool to keep in mind, if you decide not to do this side quest and just keep Cait as her drug addict self, you can give her all of the drugs that you have in your inventory if you choose not to use drugs yourself or any extra ones, and she will use them. She will actually use them out of her own inventory because she is a chem addict, and that will help her in combat. That'll make her more effective in combat for you. Finally, a lot of people ask me about what weapon should I give, you know, my companion, which weapon is best for Cait, what kind of armor should I give her. I generally do not mess with weapons with companions, and I don't advise that you do either, because default weapons, the ones that they come with, you know, the ones you don't have to give them, have unlimited ammunition. However, if you give her, for example, a combat rifle, she'll need 45 rounds in order to keep shooting that. And so that's kind of a drain on your own personal resources. I personally don't think it is worth it, and so I don't do that. However, it's probably a good idea if you want to give your companion the maximum resistance to give them whatever extra armor you have. I usually leave it alone because I like the look of my companions with their default armor. It just reminds me of them, and I just like kind of role-playing almost in that way in a sense, but I usually keep that alone. So I'd like to know, after watching this video, will you go out and get Cait? Is she worth your time, and is her companion perk worth your time? Honestly, like I said, I don't think her companion perk is worth your time at all, but she is very special in that she can pick locks, and so that provides a lot of utility for a lot of different builds that don't focus on perception. I think perception is the second worst category in terms of special in the game, and so I think that increases Cait's value because she gives you that utility. That's why I prefer Cait as a companion in the game. Let me know what you all think about Cait in the comment section below. Alright guys, today I shared everything you need to know about Cait in Fallout 4, and next time we will cover more Fallout on my channel, so stay tuned for Fallout 4 tips and tricks videos. If you learned something new, remember to hit that like button, I would really appreciate it, and don't forget to subscribe for more unique weapon guides, build guides, and general tips and tricks videos. Talk to you guys next time, peace.